Okay, you might hear my TV in the background. Hello everybody, my name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as the Dramatic Otaku, your resident parrot, clearly. And welcome to the By Otaku monthly manga anime review by the By Otaku. Today we'll be going over my favourite anime and manga. We'll be going through all the anime and manga that I read, watched and enjoyed in April and May of this year. I have filmed this section into two parts, one that I filmed at the end of April and now obviously this one which you are seeing. However, unlike with the last manga and anime review that I did, which would be February and March, if you haven't seen that video I would highly suggest watching it. But unlike that video, I'm not going to be going by manga and anime, mainly because unfortunately in May I didn't watch any anime. Okay, that might be a slight lie. I did in fact watch quite a bit of anime, a lot of fucking anime if you will. However, seeing as each and every one of these anime is still airing by the time that I am recording this video, which is like the last 3 days of May, clearly I didn't finish the anime before the end of May. So I'm not counting it. That is my little rule with anime. For this little system, if the anime does not finish in the month, then I can't talk about it. However, if you go to my last video, Spring 2022 anime, you'll get to hear me talk about all of these series that I wanted to talk about in this video from my perspective about halfway through each and every series. So yeah, that being pushed aside, we're going to be going into April manga and anime first. But before we begin this video, if you could please like and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and I can't do that without your guys' help, so yeah. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Okay, so we're gonna be starting with April manga. So first things first, I went through 5 individual novels of manga in April. Over the past couple of months, my mental health has not been the best, so I've been predominantly on the hunt for cute queer love stories, and like I've also really wanted to get more Junji Ito novels that I haven't had. One that I've been really trying to get is The Drifting Classroom, and as a result of me trying to get The Drifting Classroom, I, by accident, bought The Dissolving Classroom. Now, I know Drifting Classroom is not by Junji Ito. I may have misspoken there. I was trying to get The Drifting Classroom because, like, it is in the horror section with Junji Ito, and I've been eyeing that out, but my eyes drifted to The Dissolving Classroom by Junji Ito. This book, first of all, I hate that it's not hardcover, unlike almost all of the other fucking Junji Ito books that I have. The only other soft paperback that I have of Junji Ito is Yonamu, so it's like, cool. I do have another one of these, which is nice. I like having the like soft Junji Ito novels instead of having massive hardcover novels. However, having seen that most of my novels are hardcover is really frustrating. But The Dissolving Classroom is so this story details the Azawa siblings, Yuma and I think it's Chizumi and Yuma. And as with all Junji Ito stories, these two, while being the focus of the story, they are the villains. They are the monsters, much like in Tomie. Now, Chizumi and Yuma are very strange, and the whole story goes through a series of short stories in which they are terrorizing the fuck out of everyone. Yuma is melting people by giving them compliments and apologizing to them. He's giving compliments to people he's dating, horribly disfiguring them in the process, and melting people's brains by apologizing to them. And this little bitch sucks up the brains. Or not just the brains, as you can see, they're just melting in general. But she drinks them. He also, despite appearing well, nice and good, he worships Satan. Icon. But Dissolving Classroom, it's not the worst Genji story. I personally like this more than Censor, but it's not the best. It's not, obviously, Tomie Uzumaki, high bars to fucking jump across. This is one of his smaller works, obviously. Granted, this feels a very similar size to Censor, so I guess maybe this was published before they started doing short hardcover books. Maybe they'll do a hardcover version of this in the future, I don't know. But personally, I want to say I think I like the first story, which is obviously the one named Dissolving Classroom, a lot better than sort of the rest of them. I do like the thread of the spoilers, the girl, not this girl, but the main girl, the main like protagonist girl, how her brain gets partially melted, and that she appears later in the book. I do really like that. In true Junji Ito fashion, they do have 2 extra stories at the end of this book that are usually paired with these stories, that being The Return, which I'm not too fond of, and Children of the Earth, which is, not gonna lie, giving me Amigara Fault vibes, but with children. Personally, Dissolving Classroom, again, I like a lot more than Censor, mainly because I think Censor is more cosmic, which is why I'm sort of staying away from Hellstar Remina. It's because it's more cosmic stuff. I really don't like stuff to do with space. But this, I'd give it a solid 6, 7, 8 out of 10, maybe 7.5 out of 10 if I have to rate all the Junji. Maybe I do that for a video. Maybe I rate the Junji Ito novels that I've read. But that was probably the latest thing that I read in April. Like, that was like a last day of April kind of thing that I read. First thing that I read in April, which technically I had been reading in the end of March. I think I mentioned it in my last video, or my last review, was Cutie Honey Agogo. Now, I definitely did mention Cutie Honey Agogo in my last video. This is a reboot of the original series Cutie Honey. I thought Cutie Honey was a anime-only adaptation, such as the likes of like Yuri on Ice. However, it's not, obviously. This is a reboot of the original manga series, and I picked this up thinking it was a one-shot. See, I think the point of this, because I've just checked, it does not have a to be continued in it, but I think it has like, what it's supposed to do is send you to the original series, which I really do want to do. I kind of want to see if I can find the original manga series for Cutie Honey. Also because this version of Cutie Honey is apparently different from the original version. The original version had Cutie Honey being an actual high school student, and her friend, who is the main character in this novel, being, again, another high school student. This is a lot. It has 2 arcs to it. The first part where you're just introducing Cutie Honey, having the main character be trying to pursue Cutie Honey, as in she is a policewoman, and Cutie Honey just appeared out of nowhere and started slashing up villains. That kind of pursue. I do get major lesbian vibes from that policewoman character though. I don't know why. This is a lot to explain, and I partially dissociated when reading this book. It is very interesting, but a little difficult to get through unless you are super into it, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm not. It is a decent read, especially if you're into, because this says it's from the creators of Devilman and Neon Genesis Evangelion. I guess if you're into that, definitely if you're into Devilman, because I know for a fact the Devilman anime had a crossover with Cutie Honey. So if you're interested in the likes of like Devilman and like or particularly like the original Devilman, if you're into the Cutie Honey series or the original Cutie Honey series, I'd give this a pick up and a go. Otherwise, it's not really my kind of thing. I would be interested in seeing the original Cutie Honey, especially since I'm trying to get into more older manga. Like, I've been getting into like Rumiko Takahashi. I kind of want to see Devilman in manga form. If Devilman is also a manga, I'm pretty sure Devilman is also a manga. I do also want to pick up the original Cutie Honey series. So it has done its job in pointing me in the direction of the original series. And I might give the original Cutie Honey series a watch if I feel up to it. But yeah, so Cutie Honey A Go-Go. The aesthetics, gorgeous. I give this one like solid 5-6. It's okay, I can read it. I didn't get the most enjoyment out of it. It is also a very pretty book. I like the like 70s aesthetic of it, obviously, because I'm pretty sure Cutie Honey and Devilman came out in the 70s, so. And moving on to the last of the April manga, this is the full series that I picked up, and this was a recommendation that I picked up on. Again, I've been looking for queer stories to read, and I have read a few queer stories as of April and May, but in April specifically, I picked up That Blue Sky Feeling. Now, I initially saw this in All Star Comics when I picked up Cutie Honey A Go-Go. There was a little LGBT display with a bunch of books, and this was front and center in the display. At first, because in All Star Comics I couldn't pick up and open the book because each book comes in their own individual slip, I thought this might be boys love. It's not, which is a really good thing. So happy this is not boys love. So That Blue Sky Feeling is a very healthy take onto queerness and like gayness. So it is about this boy Noshiro, and he is transferring into a new school when he meets Sanada. Now, secret about Sanada, he is gay, and people bully him for it, though they're not actually sure if he is gay, and it's all very complicated, and Noshiro gets swept up in that complicatedness. Over the course of these books, Noshiro becomes friends with Sanada, and eventually Sanada and Noshiro develop a bond. It is not explicitly shown to be love. Sanada like clearly does love Noshiro, but it is not explicitly romantic love, and especially on the side of Noshiro, by the end, they develop a very strong bond throughout this series, and at the end of the series, it is sort of left up in the air as to whether it is platonic love or romantic love. Noshiro is on a journey of self-discovery by the end of this book. And I think that's like an awesome, really healthy way of exploring gayness and like being gay and the queer experience. I really enjoyed like especially all the confusion that Noshiro had throughout this story, because it felt relatable, to be 100% honest. It's like trying to understand and be a really good friend and ally towards Sanada, while also partially dealing with feelings that is like, I don't know how to feel about this. I've never really had attraction towards girls, but do I have an attraction towards boys? That sort of thing. And in the end of the book, and you can see on the back, happily ever after isn't the same for everybody. In the last book, which this is only 3 volumes long, so if you want a long-ish but kind of short series that's queer and that isn't inherently romantic, it is very slice of life, then I would highly suggest this series. But in this book, at the very end of the book, spoilers, they have a little scene. It's framed like a confession scene, but it's not actually a true confession scene. And at the end, essentially, Noshiro is saying that he does really care for Sanada, but it is left up in the air because he himself doesn't understand if it's romantic or platonic love. And I like to think that it's platonic love, and it's like this is your best friend, stuff like that. Guy pals, clearly. But no, I like to think that because they're also really young, I think they're 16 in this book. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they're 16. It's good to like think of a really healthy relationship, especially when Noshiro is starting his own journey into thinking about his romantic feelings. Also in this story, it is deals with Sonata's side, he deals with a lot of like coming out to people and trying to like connect with people that like he's very close to. And there is this girl, this one here, and she is essentially completely unaware at the start of the book. And it goes, throughout the story, it goes through their relationship as she partially has a crush on him, but obviously he's gay. He cannot return her feelings. So the story is a journey of self-discovery for both of its main characters. This one, obviously for Noshiro, it's a self-discovery of what is it like to love someone? What is it like to feel romantic or platonic or familial or whatever kind of love with another person, especially one of the same gender that you just met. And for Sonata, it is opening up. It is opening up to his friends, to people he trusts, and only people he trusts. He doesn't need to come out for anybody. That's what this whole story is about, and I love it, and it's adorable, and such a good read, because it's not solely romantic. There is elements of romance, but this is very much a slice of life, coming of age, sort of finding oneself story, and I really adore it because of that. Would I have liked romance? Yes. But I really like the open ending. Personally, I would like to think that these two, in the future, maybe when they're older and Noshiro has discovered himself more, maybe they do get together. But I like to think that they stay together, even if it is just as friends. And that's what I really like about this book. It is a very open ending, but they very clearly care about each other. And that's important to have as a queer person, having these relationships where you just feel so connected to someone else, even if they're not gay themselves. So I love it. I love it for that reason. I love it for so many other reasons. It is very, like, you get one drama after another, but I guess it kind of makes sense as to why it is like that. Obviously, it's only 3 volumes. Also, because the whole process of understanding someone else's emotions that you don't understand is very dramatic. And so is, like, trying to come out. It is a long and very, yeah, I would say it is dramatic. It's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure coming on at once. That's what it is. So I can understand why it is this way. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Honestly, I'd probably also give this story 7.5 to 8 and 8.5, I think. In terms of enjoyment, I think I actually enjoyed Dissolving Classroom the most, though I did really enjoy this series to the point where I bought the full series within a month. So out of all these 3, I think the one that I personally enjoyed the most was Dissolving Classroom. The one that I connected to most was That Blue Sky Feeling. Really love That Blue Sky Feeling, not gonna lie. Enjoyment wise, I think it was more just refreshing, but because throughout April I started so many slice of life anime, it was probably a bad time to start a slice of life manga as well. If I had maybe started this in winter, or even in, I say in winter, I mean in the anime seasons, if I'd started this in maybe summer of the anime seasons, then this would be more of a like refreshing read. But because I'm watching so many slice of life anime, reading a slice of life novel wasn't that enjoyable. Any other time, probably this would be enjoyable to read. In terms of Cutie Honey, very much piqued my interest in the like mystery department, and like the I want to read the old Cutie Honey thing. But in terms of everything else, it's like not my favorite out of these three like series that I've read for April. So yeah, April anime. So obviously, to start off with April anime, I did promise that this one would have the ultimate of anime for 2022, Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 2. This fucking season gave me so much anxiety because at the 6-week mark, the 6-episode mark, I looked at the episodes and the fucking rest of the series. There was no way we were gonna fucking finish Attack on Titan in 6 episodes without cutting some needed arcs. So it turns out we're getting a part 3. Now, I've already spoken my piece on part 3. I am very happy we are getting another season instead of a movie. So fucking happy we're getting a season instead of a movie. Personally, it would have been just more of a pain to wait for a film than wait for a series. If I am being 100% honest, waiting for a movie is just really frustrating, especially if you cannot fucking make it to the movie. I'm really happy we're getting a part 3. Honestly, we're gonna get the most content out of a part 3, but I've already said my piece on that. So what do I think of part 2? Honestly, I loved part 2 so much. Oh, so much. The whole Connie thing kind of threw me about a bit. I didn't know how to feel about it, especially because it did feel like we were crawling along a little bit. I felt like it could have been cut out a little bit, but then again, if it had been cut out, you'd be thinking, well, what the fuck happened to Connie's mum, etc, etc. So it's good that they kept it for like that reason, because Attack on Titan does something really well and ties all its loose ends. But I really liked the series as a whole, the season as a whole. Season part 2. Honestly, the whole build up, the animation, though throughout its runtime, so much fucking anxiety. So much. That is my point for season 4 part 2. Anxiety. Though it was awesome to wake up on a Monday, watch the episode and be like, fuck yeah, anime. Seeing the rumbling actually happen. Also, the last episode, the fucking colossal titans were swimming. They were swimming. That put a primal fear in me, primal. Cause bro, I thought they were walking across the floor of the ocean, okay? To find out they were swimming. That's insane. It's just the little things in Attack on Titan that make it just batshit crazy. Honestly. Sorry, that was the start of April anime. The movie released by Netflix, Bubble. The OST! The OST gives me life. The best way I can describe the movie Bubble is sentient bubbles, The Little Mermaid, and philosophy. That doesn't make me spiral. If you watch the movie, you'll get that joke. Towards the end of April, I got COVID, and Bubble was one of the things that I watched during the time that I had COVID to make me feel better. I watched that. I also watched the Netflix Heartstopper series. So good. So good. It was one of the series that I was watching when I had COVID, and I did film myself during that time, it was like a period of 5 to 7 days. No, it was a period of like 7 days. I didn't record 7 or 8 because I was just like getting over it. I felt a lot better. But during the period of time that I had COVID, I watched Bubble, and I was just looking for something, just anything to watch, because I'd watched just a shit ton of YouTube. I didn't want to watch YouTube anymore. I wanted to watch anime, but all the anime that I was watching was like updating weekly. I'd already watched all of that week's anime. Yeah, it's one of my little COVID watch things. Just busted open Netflix to watch it. And in all honesty, Bubble is one of those films where the animation, fucking beautiful, spectacular even. The story, it was stale. It's just not exciting, to be quite honest. Like, I felt there was this constant slow building climax, and then the climax was like in the last 5 to 10 minutes of the fucking film. And even then, the climax wasn't even a what the fuck or a oh my god kind of climax. It was supposed to be like that, like from the way the story was being told, it was supposed to be that, but it wasn't. It was supposed to be sad. The ending was supposed to be a sad ending. That is what it set itself up to be. It was gonna be that like silent voice kind of thing, though I didn't fucking understand silent voice when I watched it back then, and I don't feel like watching it now because I didn't find enjoyment in silent voice. It was trying to be something like that, but it just, with the way that it was paced and the way that like it showed the relationships between characters and the backstories to characters, it just didn't do that. It wasn't sad. It was just kind of like, we all knew it was coming. I hadn't connected to any of the characters whatsoever. Because essentially, they kind of just retold The Little Mermaid, and they were kind of explicit in the fact that they were retelling The Little Mermaid. Like, literally, the main character, Uta, who is a sentient bubble mass, references the fucking book of The Little Mermaid. The original Hans Christian Andersen, The Little Mermaid. She references that a fucking shit ton in the movie. And then, would you look at that, she turns into bubbles almost as if she's turning into sea foam. Bubble is very much, very, very fucking similar to The Little Mermaid. It explicitly states that, like, it's referencing little bits of The Little Mermaid, we're gonna be smart. It's not really all that whole thing. That's not to say it's not a good movie to watch if you're sick. It was a fun, very visually appeasing film to watch, and the little song that Uta sings, heavenly. The soundtrack is fantastic. I have been listening to the OST of Bubble for ages. The song Parkour is so fucking addicting. And like the little melody that Uta sings, gorgeous. The thing that entrapped me about this film the most was the visuals and the audio. Because, oh my god, it is a media nerd's dream! Like, the sounds are gorgeous, like, the way that the music sounds like bubbles. I don't know how the fuck they made Uta sound like she was singing like a bubble. Or how, like, the fucking, if you listen to the song Parkour, it sounds like bubbles. They made the fucking soundtrack sound like bubbles. It's just fantastic. I love it. The visuals, fucking gorgeous. And with what I mentioned with philosophy, the philosophical undertones that are also kind of in your face, like the Little Mermaid thing, especially at the end, didn't make me spiral. Not gonna lie, the whole spiral references just made me think Uzumaki, not gonna lie, because the philosophical intent is almost exactly the same. The philosophy is exactly the same. And the reason why I bring up the philosophy is because usually if a philosophy is brought up in a film or in a piece of media, I hate it. It triggers my anxiety and I just fucking hate it because it makes me spiral into fucking existentialism. So, or into an existential crisis, should I say. This film didn't make me go really anxious like I was scared it was going to when I heard like the philosophy books and all the science shit that's brought up in like the film that Uta learns. Very glad that that didn't happen because I didn't need to have an anxiety attack on top of COVID. I also liked Uta because it does have like a very post-apocalyptic setting. However, it's not in a post-apocalyptic world, and unlike with other Netflix anime series such as like Japan Sings 2020, obviously, as you can probably tell by my discomfort, I'm not at all comfortable with natural disaster shows, and I liked Uta because it gave a post-apocalyptic setting while not being in a post-apocalypse or being in the middle of a natural disaster, because it was a supernatural disaster. And it was especially located into one zone because it was in a giant fucking bubble. And having it be a supernatural disaster, it didn't trigger my anxiety, so I liked that. I liked that aspect particularly. If the setting of Uta had been caused because of a natural disaster. Storytelling was so fucking stale, but a good show, a good movie to watch while you're sick. And if you are a like art nerd or an audio nerd or just a media nerd in general, this was a good movie to watch for the visuals and for the soundtrack, especially the visuals. However, a film should not be rated just by its visuals. If you want a movie just to watch for fun, don't pick Bubble. If you want to watch it to appreciate the visuals and the music, watch Bubble. Finally, for April, we're going to be talking about a series that I actually abandoned, but I gave a really good shot to. And usually I wouldn't talk about series that I abandoned, because I have abandoned a lot of series in the past, but this is similar to fantasy, shoujo, whatever the fuck, in which I gave it a good hot go, but I just couldn't complete the series. Now, unlike with fantasy shoujo, this series I continued to watch because I wanted to like see if they changed something, which they fucking didn't, and that was Citrus. So I stopped Citrus at episode 8, meaning that I did watch episode 8, but that like I couldn't continue to 9, 10, 11 or 12, and I did try to push myself to watch 9, 10, 11 and 12. I watched the English dub as well, just to help me push myself that way. I couldn't. I absolutely just could not with this series. I thought I could push past the ore emo undertones. What is it with this whole marrying your fucking sibling and kissing your fucking sibling? Fucking your fucking sibling. Why? Really, I thought it was going to be a cute lesbian anime. That's what I thought this series was. As I said, in manga form, I've been trying to find cute anime that's gay. I thought that's what this series would be. It wasn't. It looked like it was going to be a cute lesbian anime with a bunch of twists and turns and plot twists. In episode 1, they had all these plot lines set up, and it looked interesting, and they killed all of them in episode 2. By episode 4, it felt like I was watching a completely different anime to episode 1. Just, where's the same drama? Where's the enemies to lovers shit? I see none of that here. I had wanted this to be a cute lesbian show so badly that I was looking past all of the "I'm now a sister" kind of bullshit. Because I was going to be like, they're going to drop that at some point. They reinforced it every single fucking episode. Every single episode reinforced, I'm a big sister now. But also, I have the hots for my little sister. They cram it down your throat so hard, and it just made me so physically uncomfortable. I thought Citrus would be the lesbian given. It's not. It is not that. I see nothing. If someone has watched the full series and something changes in like 11 and 12, then do tell me, because then maybe I will actually give 9, 10, 11, and 12 a shot. But like, at this point, I don't want to watch it anymore. I'll give the series as a whole 4.5 to 5 out of 10. Genuinely, in the series, there were parts that I laughed at, that I thought was fun or thought was cute. It had its moments, but I just wanted a cute lesbian anime. Can someone recommend me a cute lesbian anime? I need more lesbian animes. Let's move on to May. And we're back! Yes, as I mentioned earlier, I won't be able to do anime for May. Again, you'll have to look at my last video, Spring 2022 Anime, for that information on what anime I've been watching in May. But I have been reading quite a bit of manga, so let's just jump into it, starting with Inuyasha Volume 2. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it was really difficult to get into reading this, as it was with, like, Urusei Yatsura. Even the first Inuyasha volume, it was very difficult to, like, start reading. I'm finding that more and more recently, and you'll hear me echo the same thought process with a lot of the books that I'm going to be talking about today. I started off reading this quite distractedly. Like, I knew what was happening from the last volume, but it just took a while to get into it, and I do have volume 3 on my little cart over here. But again, with that book, similar to this book, very difficult to get into, but that's just a me thing. I find it very difficult to talk about manga that I haven't just started in a review sense, because, you know, I'm midway through a book, midway through a series, so it's very difficult to talk about. If you're not new to this channel, if you are a subscriber or a viewer of this channel, you would know I fucking love Rumiko Takahashi novels. Ever since I started reading Mermaid Saga, which was my first Rumiko Takahashi novel that I read, I've been trying to get and read all of the Rumiko Takahashi books. So this is the second big volume of Inuyasha. I'm collecting the Viz Big novels. This goes through, I believe, volumes 4, 5, and 6 of the original Inuyasha series. And I'm fucking loving this series as it is. You're starting to see more of Inuyasha's backstory. Again, I'm really awkward with explaining certain stories, especially in terms of books that I'm really into, but like don't know how to fully describe, especially also with Rumiko Takahashi novels, and novels that like I haven't just started. So essentially, I'm really enjoying Inuyasha thus far, and thus I picked up the second Viz Big volume, and I'm actually also onto the third Viz Big volume. Like I said earlier, I've been looking for more queer love stories when it comes to manga and anime, and personally, I've also been trying to pick up recommendations from all avenues of MangaTube, and one that I picked up alongside with My Love Mix-Up, for fuck's sake, Pikachu. Pikachu, why? Ruining my shot. But along with My Love My Love Mix-Up, I picked up, was on the search for I Think Our Son Is Gay. This story is essentially the story of Hiroki, a teenage boy who is in the closet. He's gay and he doesn't want his family to know, but he's not very good at hiding his emotions. Essentially, if he feels something, it shows on his face, much like myself. So this is, the story of Hiroki, but it is from the perspective of his mother, Tomoko. And each chapter, it's a very short series thus far. I can't wait to pick up volume 2 for this, but it is essentially Hiroki's story from Tomoko's perspective, and Tomoko, the way it's structured, it seems to be Tomoko writing letters to her husband, but she obviously hasn't told her husband yet, because there is a plot point and a story in this novel where Hiroki's father comes back into the picture because he's always out traveling, and it doesn't give Hiroki confidence to, be himself. Hiroki also has a little brother, and much like with Tomoko, Hiroki's little brother absolutely knows he's gay. And he's very, very welcoming about it. So the story is essentially the story of a boy in the closet, but almost everyone can tell that he's gay. Or almost everyone in his family can tell he's gay. And it's a very, very cute story. I absolutely adore this. It's a very nice slice of life novel. I would highly, highly suggest this, especially if you're looking for queer love stories or just queer stories point blank. I shouldn't really say queer love stories because this is slice of life and it is from the mother's perspective. And it's wonderful. I haven't done its due diligence, but it's such a cute little story. I smashed this out in like an hour to half an hour after like I got home from the city, and I love this. I really want to pick up volume 2. Such a cute little story, and yeah, I would highly recommend it, especially if you are looking for queer stories in manga and anime. Idle Dreams volumes 2 and 3. I do recall saying something about this series when I reviewed volume 1. Let's take a little trip down memory lane. I don't think there's going to be any romantic tension between the idol and Chikage whatsoever, and it's really nice to feel that coming from the book. There is no vibes whatsoever that Chikage is even interested in the idol. So I take that back. For fuck's sake. Why? In volume 3 of Idle Dreams, our main character, as her 15-year-old self, gets confessed to by one of the younger idols, this guy here, because he has feelings for her, because she's the first person to not be like super obsessed with him. I can't fucking remember. He's a side character and he looks low-key like her friend character here. She, in this volume as well, I'm pretty sure it's in just across these volumes, our protagonist meets back up with her first childhood love, and the two male adults in the situation are fighting over Chikage and are like, I'm in love, she's mine, I love her. And Haru comes back into the conversation. He breaks up with his girlfriend, which is like the main driving plot for Chikage wanting to die in the first novel. And he's like, actually, I really like Chikage. I want to be with Chikage now. And he doesn't know about the idol stuff. He just assumes that the idol version of Chikage is one of Chikage's like nieces or nephews. I hate that she's actually dating one of the characters who is half her fucking age, but I will in fact continue to collect and read this series because it is intriguing. I'm just really annoyed that bruh, you had my hopes up. I thought it would just be smooth sailing, but no, it's manga. Of course it's not that. It's entertainment. Of course it's not gonna be like that. I still like this series. The aesthetics, the plot line is pretty interesting. I do in fact like it for that. But there is just aspects that I don't like. But it's manga. Of course it's gonna be a little bit woo. So yeah, that was Idle Dreams, and I will continue collecting and reading the series. This is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. It's very cute, and yeah, I've already talked about Idle Dreams before on this channel, so. And from one romance series to another, we have Whisper Me a Love Song. Yes, another continuation of a series that I started, I think, last video. So Whisper Me a Love Song, if you don't know, is a cute Yuri romance. It's not Yuri, it's a cute lesbian romance, and it is fucking adorable. And I can safely say in volume 3, the two main characters get together. It's amazing. But, spoilers, obviously if you haven't read it. But Whisper Me a Love Song is that cute Yuri lesbian romance that I fucking needed, and there's drama and it's amazing and adorable. I love these so much. Much like with Inuyasha, it was very difficult to get into reading these. I don't know why. Again, it was probably having to do with my mental health at the time. But these heal my soul. It's very slice of lifey, and the elements of romance are kind of downplayed a little bit. I want to say downplayed, but it's a romance novel, so it's not really downplayed, but you know what I'm talking about. I hope you do anyway. I personally fucking love this series. I love the main characters, Yori and Himari. Yori is best girl, but yeah, so this is super cute. I can't wait to get volumes 4 and 5 for this. I would like to see more of Yori's dad. He is a DILF, and I can confidently say that. If you want a cute lesbian romance, I would give this a go. It's so cute. You get to see a lot with this. You get to see Himari's struggles with trying to realize, am I actually in love with Yori, or do I just like her music? It's starting to get into a really interesting aspect as of the end of volume 3, because obviously you have the main characters together, but you also have one of the characters in love with one of the main characters, and then you also have the fact that in volume 1 it's mentioned that the reason Yori was singing with the band that she's in is because the main singer dropped out last minute, and as of volume 3 you get to see the singer again because she's super jealous that she's been replaced by Yori. So I'm very excited with this series. I am really enjoying it. It's super cute. I actually like the slice of life aspects a little more than the romance aspects, which is surprising, but not at all like disheartening for anyone who does want the romantic aspect of this series. It is super cute. Highly suggest it, especially if you want something that's like girls love but not typical girls love, you know? But yeah, so that has been all for May manga. May anime. So we already talked about how I discuss May anime in my spring 2022 anime video, but I do want to bring up something because I hadn't watched Kaguya-sama or Spy Family episode 8 at that point. I am in love with what they've done with episode 8 of Kaguya-sama because of that referencing to the manga and putting actual manga panels into the episode. It feels like just a love letter to the manga as a whole and like a love letter to the series as a whole. I really adore it. I don't know why. Some people might think it's lazy having the manga panels instead of animating it, but personally I fucking adore it. I don't know why I adore it so much, but when I saw it, I'm just like, oh my god, that's the manga! Oh my god, that's how Shirogane looks in the manga, oh my god. So yeah, I'm super excited. The cultural festival arc has definitely started, and I'm hoping that the next 2 episodes, because there are now 4 episodes left of the series, the next 2 episodes are probably going to be of the cultural festival. I wouldn't put it past the series to use the full 4 episodes, but with the like focus on like mentioning Christmas and mentioning the fact that like that if Kaguya doesn't ask out Shirogane before Christmas, then she won't spend Christmas with Shirogane, then I don't think it would be like smart to start season 4 with that arc. I think it's better if it ends up in season 3, though with the pacing thus far, I wouldn't be surprised if it was put into season 4. Then again, when I did originally make that prediction, I did say that it could end either way, and personally, it does seem to be ending either way. It could be that the cultural festival arc goes for like 3.5 episodes. However, with the, like, if you think of media and the media world and stuff like that, it is more likely that one of the episodes is going to end with Kaguya and Shirogane kissing. If you didn't know, that happens. Spoilers, that fucking happens. But yeah, I'm really happy with the series thus far, and I just wanted to talk a little more about Kaguya-sama. And I got to watch the new episode of Spy Family. It's great. It's fantastic. I fucking love it. And the new episode of Dance Dance Dancer. fucking love Dance Dance Dancer. Didn't think I would love it as much as I do. It is now one of like my favorite anime. I have like noticed that Dance Dance Dancer is like, probably because Mappa also like created Yuri on Ice. Dance Dance Dancer and like Yuri on Ice have the same sort of fluid motions, except Dance Dance Dancer is much cleaner. Obviously, clearly, Yuri on Ice was the trial round, and then you've got Dance Dance Dancer, which is the proper. We're going to be fantastic. But that does actually give me hope that the animation quality of the Yuri on Ice movie will be spectacular. I fucking want to see the promotional video, an actual trailer and date for Yuri on Ice, Ice Adolescence. Thank you very much. And that has been this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have been the Dramatic Otaku, and I hope to see you all next time. I upload every Wednesday and occasionally on Fridays at 10 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. I hope you have an amazing day, night, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you next time. Bye!